What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we're here for another Manchester City transfer update, giving you all the latest ins, outs and contract news with Manchester City transfer updates. We're doing daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout all of the January winter window, and we'll be back again in the summer doing daily Manchester City transfer updates, expecting City to be very busy in the summer, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on to be notified immediately when I do upload. We're also running other Manchester City regular content too, so if you're interested, stay tuned for that. Don't forget, we're aiming for 6,000 subscribers, so any help towards that also would be much appreciated. You can find my social media links, Twitter and Instagram, in the description below too. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'll retweet sources, keep you up to date with everything happening with the latest Manchester City news, transfer news, and also JSGC news. You can find my email in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because I'm always interested in what you do have to say. So it's just a very quick transfer update, this one, because there hasn't been too much news happening in and around Manchester City over the last couple of days, which with Man City playing games thick and fast, it's to be expected. Maybe things might warm up by the end of the transfer window, which shuts next week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll give you all the latest happenings. But first news story comes in the form of Nicolas Otamendi. Now, reliable sources, this coming from The Sun, are saying that Valencia are having a good, long, hard look at Nicolas Otamendi, and they are potentially prepared to make a move in the summer for him. Of course, if Nicolas Otamendi does leave, that will free up a non-homegrown space for Manchester City, with David Silva also expected to leave. There'll be 2 positions available, and of course, we're expecting City to be targeting, I would say, at least 4 new players by the time, because we're not going to be signing anyone, I don't reckon, in this window, so I reckon 4 new players will come in the summer at least, so you want to be staying tuned for that one. And City freeing up some space for us to do a little bit of business. Otamendi getting linked with a move away. Otamendi's had a pretty rough season to start with, but I feel like as the season's gone on, I think Otamendi, in my opinion, has become stronger and stronger for Manchester City. So I'm talking about Nicolas Otamendi leaving, and honestly, over the last few games, he's played pretty decent for Manchester City. He looks very comfortable when slotting in alongside Aymeric Laporte, and he's got extra cover with Fernandinho there. You've got Eric Garcia's calm head in and around him too. That I feel like Otamendi in the system works. So we'll see what happens and if City are prepared to sell him or not. But if they are, Valencia are interested, so we'll have to see and wait with that. Now we've got an update on Leroy Sane saga. This will go into the summer, almost certain of it. Now, The Athletic, they're reporting that Bayern Munich, they're still extremely confident that Leroy Sane will not sign a new contract at Manchester City, as they firmly believe that he wants to leave the Etihad Stadium in the summer. And they also believe strongly that he wants to join them. Now, other sources in Germany have said that this deal is going to be complicated, it's going to be expensive, and it's not something that Bayern Munich normally go towards. However, Bayern Munich do love signing German players. They love signing German international players, and they're looking for top quality talent. Obviously, with Arjen Robben, the days of Arjen Robben, and also Frank Ribery long gone now for Bayern Munich, they're looking for the next big things. And Leroy Sane, he's a wonderful talent. He's an exceptional player. He's a German international. They'll be interested, mark my words. But come a bit delusional, Bayern Munich, a little bit, with them seem to be thinking that with Leroy Sane's contract running down, that they're going to be able to pick him up for a good deal. Leroy Sane having a year left on his deal, if I was Man City, I'd still be demanding a lot of money. Obviously, it's not going to be as high as what it was last summer when City were asking for around £136 million. This January winter window, Leroy Sane is still continuing his rehabilitation and not coming back to the Manchester City training for the first team squad. He's currently training on his own, working on his own fitness. Probably won't be back for at least another couple of weeks or so. And then it's all about how Leroy Sane then responds to that. So in maybe 3 or 4 weeks, we could well be seeing Leroy Sane returning back to the Manchester City squad. Fingers crossed, but that won't come in time for the end of the winter window. Bayern Munich, they could sign Leroy Sane in this window, but they'll feel like they can get a better deal in the summer, and they'll probably wait to see how he responds to his treatment and how he does for Manchester City, obviously with his recovery from a serious injury. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But surely if Leroy Sane, he won't be leaving for free. Man City will want a high money. I would hope that Manchester City, if they're going to sell Leroy Sane, if he doesn't commit to a new contract and says that he wants to leave Manchester City, which of course, very important, has not been said, if that is the case, that he does want to leave, I would hope that Manchester City wouldn't just back down to Bayern Munich, but instead would be very smart about what they do, and that's offer Leroy Sane out to some of Europe's biggest clubs. Obviously try and get some kind of bidding war going. I mean, I've heard Real Madrid's name mentioned previously. We know that Barcelona are looking at possibly selling Ousmane Dembele. There might be a spot there that Barcelona might have a look at Leroy Sane instead. We know that PSG, we don't know what they're going to be doing in terms of Neymar. Will PSG come in? Of course, the working relations between the Qatar and the Abu Dhabi club with PSG and Manchester City, quite friction, so I imagine that probably is quite unrealistic. But when money talks, money really does talk. That if PSG are willing to spend, I don't know, 80 to 100 million pounds, and Bayern Munich won't budge on 60 million pound, you're going to sell to the club that's offering 80 to 100 million pounds. But the fact is, Leroy Sane is a Manchester City player. We're going to have to wait and see what Leroy Sane wants to do with his future. If Leroy Sane, he's changed his agent, it's a complicated deal. Leroy Sane's got a contract offer there from Manchester City. If Leroy Sane wants to stay at Manchester City, he can. You know what I mean? He can. I imagine that there'd be a little bit of a leeway there for City, that they could negotiate and get an extra bit of money if that's concern of Leroy Sane's. But I'm just not sure why he wants to leave Manchester City, if I'm completely honest. I mean, for a footballing decision, I feel like Leroy Sane applying himself and putting in the workload of what the other players can, he'd end up getting right to the very top at Manchester City. Bayern Munich are willing to offer him more money if that's what he wants. If that's what he wants, then that's what he wants. There's nothing that Manchester City can do about it. I know he was rumoured £300,000 per week being offered by Bayern Munich, which is not normally the Bayern Munich way, but if that's what's swaying him, then so be it. If he's homesick and he wants to go back to Germany, he just needs to say it, because I feel like anyone and everyone can understand being homesick, and if he wants to go back to Germany, then that is fair enough. As long as Leroy Sane leaves Manchester City, if he does leave, and he leaves for the right reasons, I have no problem with him leaving. If he's leaving because he's been tempted elsewhere or something, then obviously I'll be very disappointed, because Leroy Sane is a top talent, and Manchester City we've come to be known as over the last 7 or 8 years is we're not a selling club. We don't sell our best players, so I'd regard Leroy Sane as one of our best players, and letting him leave and with a year left on his contract and leaving for not a great price, like £136 million to me is a fantastic price. If Bayern Munich were willing to pay that, I'd have accepted that last summer, but we're facing a possibility, a year left on his contract, we could be talking, what, 60, 70 million pound. Is what it is, really. But I'm hoping Leroy Sane will settle in. We've said before, he's appreciated what Manchester City have done and how they've helped him, where they've given in to him. Instead of him going to Dr. Kugat, they've let him go and see the German doctors for the German national team. Obviously wants to be in the Euro 2020 squad. I'm hoping he'll get his head down and settle in. If he's nice and happy with his new agent and stuff, go back to the drawing board with Man City, negotiate a new contract, get it signed. I think that'd be fantastic. I feel like it's one of the best bits of business that we could do this year, if we can get Leroy Sane on a new contract. Keep an eye on that, see what will happen. Now, sources at Leeds, moving on, have said that Ian Poveda, he was having a medical yesterday at Leeds United. He was pictured at Ellen Road with a fan. Definitely at Ellen Road. We're literally just waiting for that deal to be announced. That could be announced as I'm filming the video, as I'm editing the video and uploading the video. He could well be a Leeds United player. He is expected to be a Leeds United player. I did think that Leeds United would have wanted to get Poveda under a training session under his belt as of today and get it announced possibly last night, but they haven't done that. They've still not announced it at the time of me recording this video either. So I don't know what's happening there and what the hold-up is. I know sources coming in from Italy are saying Torino are still trying to make a last-ditch attempt to try and bring Poveda in, but all signs are saying Ian Poveda will be signing for Leeds United. It's just a matter of when, not if. That's the latest at the moment in time. We know things can change in the transfer window, but Leeds United fans are wanting that announced, and they're wanting it announced now. We'll have to wait and see how long it will be, but Ian Poveda, I'm expecting to be a Leeds United player sometime soon. Now, we've got an update on Sergio Aguero from, I think, my last video. Now, he's continued to be linked with a move to Inter Miami. The Sun have gone more details on this. They're reporting David Beckham does want Sergio Aguero to come and join his club when his contract expires in 2021. I'm not talking in this window, I'm not talking in the summer. I'm talking when his contract expires in 2021. The details are Sergio Aguero, he's keen to sign a new deal at Manchester City. Manchester City want Sergio Aguero on a new contract, and they are open to giving him a pay rise too, to try and make it happen. I'm all for that. I would love Sergio Aguero to sign a new contract. If he's going to sign a new contract, I imagine he'll probably be looking for at least a couple of year extension on his current deal to get him here till 2023. I couldn't imagine him having a year-long extension. I can imagine Sergio Aguero asking for a couple of years, so we'll have to see what happens there with contract talks. Obviously, less than 18 months left on his contract. Makes me feel a little bit uneasy, so City can get that sorted. That would be brilliant too. Now, we've got a little update on Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Pep Guardiola has been speaking about him today during his preview for the Fulham game in the FA Cup coming up this weekend. And he said that his future, he's not too sure where he's going to be heading, but he could well be heading out on loan at some point in the future. He's not expected to leave in this window. That is, of course, unless a club does come in for him. I'm not aware that any clubs have inquired or declared any interest, but if they do declare an interest, City might consider that, I suppose. But we're at the situation at the moment, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, we're not too sure what to do. Do we promote him to the first team? Is he of the first team quality? I think he's a wonderful player, needs to go and prove himself, and that is where a loan move can be ideal. He just needs to make sure that, if City do anyway, that if he does move, that he's getting playing time. Don't want to see Taylor Harwood-Bellis going down the route that so many young players have gone, not just at Manchester City, but at every club. Get the wrong loan move, it sets you back, and it sets you back quite a while going into your career. And honestly, football careers are not that long, so yeah, hopefully City can get that right and see how good Taylor Harwood-Bellis is. In my opinion, a lower championship club would be a really good test. Nice defensive league, really good test. He's nice and tall, he's physical, see how good he is, and develop. Look at Toshin Bayoyo, taking him a few loan spells, but settling in nicely at Blackburn, got ambitions, because he wants to return to Manchester City. He said in the next 5 years he wants to return to Man City, not just be a Manchester City player again. He wants to be the captain. Nothing like ambition, getting himself on track, and that's what I feel like we need to do with Taylor Harwood-Bellis, though I do feel that Manchester City could do a little bit more with their young players, in my opinion, but that is for another video. So there we go, that has been the update. Lots of out news, not lots in terms of ins and contracts just yet. That could well change, so if it does change, make sure you press that red button, press the bell, and put the push notifications on. You're subscribing, and you're going to be notified immediately when I upload if things do change, and things change very quickly in the transfer window. Check out my social media links, Twitter and Instagram, in the description below and popping up on screen. My email in the description below too, for any business inquiries or also any sponsorships for any videos. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all again for the next video. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.